I felt that it was a well-structured evaluation. Bianca had a very strong stance right in the middle of the stage, and you did have a lot of recommendations and some recommendations for Sunil. I would just like to remind you to address the recommendations to the general audience and recommendations to the speaker and close recommendation to leave Sunil feeling uplifted that your evaluation was detailed and helpful. Next evaluation I have is Marianne's evaluation of Roy's speech. And I think it was fairly obvious to all of us that Marianne is an experienced speaker. This is the first meeting that I have been in 2 months. So I don't know when you joined, if you were in another club before, but you had very strong stance. You used your body language very well. You gestured a lot. And you did address the general comments to the audience, the recommendations to Roy, and recommendations again to the audience, which was, I felt it was a textbook evaluation, so I'd like to commend you for that. Let me see. I'm sure I had a recommendation for you somewhere. Alas, no. I thought it was a very good evaluation, so congratulations. Next is an evaluation of Bianca's table topics. I found it quite entertaining, and I was hoping I'd get picked, but unfortunately I was a general evaluator. And I thought that the format that you chose was very engaging, having physical objects in the box for the speakers to reach in and speak on it. And the fact that they're physical objects, there's a lot of cues to help with what to say in terms of the shape, color, and the function of it. So I thought that was quite creative. The questions were also very humorous, and it just kept that light mood to the table topic section. It's just, I suppose it removes the edge of it because it's, well, for me anyway, I find it quite nerve-wracking being in front of speech. The only recommendation that I had is that I suppose because you had the box with the items on this side of the stage, you tended to spend a bit of time here introducing speakers from this side. I don't know how much it would have thrown you off if you remained at the center of the stage as you were introducing the speakers and getting them to select the item. But I don't think anybody really noticed that because everybody's attention was on this side, just waiting to see what's going to be coming out of the box next. So that was a nice touch there. And the next evaluation is Tim, who evaluates the table topics. And I think everyone will also agree that Tim is a very strong speaker and gives a very well-considered evaluation of each speaker. He had his notes placed on the left hand, and he didn't actually refer to them much, and it did show that he had them there. He had the evaluations prepared, but was speaking with a lot of detail, which showed that he was paying attention, and in that way, speakers value the evaluation. I suppose the only recommendation was that initially it tended to move a fair bit to the left hand, which I felt was a little distracting. But when you did move to the center of the stage, you took strong, purposeful steps, and you remained there for quite a while, especially towards the end of your evaluation. Next up, we had we had Darius inspirational, and I do understand that you did give your apologies for running a bit late and leaving your notes behind, but I thought you handled yourself quite well. I thought your speech was inspirational. But I felt it was heartfelt, mentioning that you find people who don't take advantage of other people's weaknesses and actually instead somehow find a way to help them improve. I thought that was inspiring, and you also tied it back to our club, which, well, what you were speaking of is what we do here. We just help each other improve. Next up, Alan's evaluation of Andrew's speech, and you did go through the objectives and mentioned how many of them were met, and you did address the one that was not met, which I thought is helpful. And Andrew does understand the process, being on his 9th speech, and I felt that it was a nice touch for you to mention that it was a 9th speech, and that we encourage him to continue to finish so that he can become a competent communicator, and to also encourage others as well. So I'd like to commend you for that. And next up, I have Selena's evaluation of Sam's speech. Well, I can speak about Selena without mentioning her energy and enthusiasm. She's very infectious, and you did have very strong and expansive gestures. You had a lot of notes which showed that you were paying attention, and that way your evaluation has more weight. The only recommendation really was to address the rest of the audience as well, to include them in that recommendation. But you spoke very well, and I thought the evaluation was quite helpful. And almost done. I'm aware of the red light there. The grammarian, yes, as I mentioned before, I thought it was a good choice of a word, even though we didn't take advantage of it as often as maybe you would have hoped this evening. The only recommendation I would give is maybe to spend a bit of time and also to make note of good examples of uses of grammar, and also to make note of any times we use filler words like and which I'm sure I've used quite a bit. And finally, for the timer, I'd like to commend you, Amber, that actually for keeping us on time. As at the time that you were speaking, the meeting is exactly on time, and of course that's a foundation for our very capable toastmaster as well. To illustrate the point.
Obviously, Selena, it's a lot of fun. The other thing to note about tonight is that we had people doing roles for the first time. Hats off to Jason. He didn't realise till the agenda was sent out that he's going to be the toastmaster. So well done embracing that role, Jason.
My wife, there's too many Facebook emails.
You missed that.
I lost them there.
That's fine. You did a great job. Isaac, first time general evaluator for you as well. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes.
Bianca, first time evaluation or second?
I should say second.
But you're still new and the same as you, Selena. So well done to all these, you guys taking over the role. Having said that, I think that we probably have a few things to tidy up on as a club, and that's just with the experience. And I recommend, if anyone would like a mentor, we have a few experienced members here. For example, Vaughan. Marion, you've been, how many years have you actually been in Toastmasters? 1 bit. Yeah. Well, I guess there's Vaughan, Hillary, Marianne. And Sunil, you've been around for some time as well, haven't you, in Toastmasters?
6 months actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
circulate that. So if anyone would like to have a mentor, and all that means is someone else give you an evaluation at the end of every meeting and help you with your speeches. We can do that. You might have noticed a video camera filming in the background.
Yeah.
That was, sorry?
There you go.
Yeah. So that's taken everything that's been happening tonight onto the hard drive. I'm not sure how big it is. I don't think I can actually email it around to people, but I might see if I can burn some copies for who's interested.
We can drop it on our website.
Sorry?
We can drop it on our website and we can distribute it that way if you like.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that if you can walk me through.
What was that, YouTube?
No, our website. Oh, that is also YouTube.
Why not the YouTube locked down version?
Yeah, you can do that.
With the password.
What's some size? Is it like an hour and a half? Is that too
No, just compress it.
compressive?
Yeah, you can compress it a bit ADR.
Alright.
I was just
Speak to you guys and you can help me get on YouTube. We haven't had a guest to talk to tonight, but we have a couple of members that have officially signed up. We have Emma, who's paid up and officially a member today. So you obviously see Clarence. First time I've actually met Clarence, so good to have you on board. And I think, and obviously Catherine signed up last week as well. One thing I do want to quickly touch on, and I won't take too long on this, because it can be a little bit technical, is the DCP program. Just pass that around to everyone. Is everyone going to copy or we're short?
Stop.
We're short.
Oh.
Right. Special fund new members. What this is a DCP program. It stands for Distinguished Club Program. Every club internationally follows this program, and it's every year that you're engaged on. That's basically a KPI for the club to see how successful you are. In summary, there's 10 goals as a club we're trying to achieve every year, and I've listed them in the activity column. If you go through, I won't go through them in too much detail, but basically what we're looking at is a certain number of people achieving the competent communicator manuals, achieving competent leadership manual qualifications, and some of the advanced qualifications as well. In terms of how we're tracking, so far we haven't achieved too many to this point. So we've got another 4 months or so. If you look at the first one, 2 CCs, I finished my 10th speed, so we've achieved that one. I think Ryan's pretty close to doing his as well. Isaac, you're pretty much up to your 10th as well, aren't you?
I've done 8.
And so you've got 2 more to do before June if possible. And Andrew, number 9, I've got you right up there as well.
Well, I actually missed 8.
Can you do that? Stop straight another 10? Okay, well I think we can probably get you there as well. So I think we'll achieve the first 2 goals. The next ones are looking at your advanced qualifications, and that's more than likely looking at being Vaughan and Hillary, I'd say, for those ones. Then there's the leadership qualifications, and I think I'm close to that, as is Hillary. Goal number 7 is new members, and we've done really well with that. So we've got at least 8 new members for the year, which is tremendous. We've got more than that. Goal number 9 is the training that we need to do. And there's 2 sessions. One session was last year, and the requirement is that at least 4 committee members attend, and we achieved that. We have 1 session on Thursday, which is for the second half of the year that the committee needs to attend. And if we can attend that, we'll achieve that goal as well. And the final goal is administration of submitting the membership renewal reports and the club officer list on time. Depending on how many goals you achieve, you get recognition. Last year we got the highest recognition, which was President's Distinguished Club. And I've summarised that down the bottom. So if you get 5 of these goals, you're a Distinguished Club, 7 you're Select Distinguished, and 9 or above President's Distinguished. I think as a club we'd like to achieve for the high standard to continue on from last year. And I think looking at how we stand, we're not too far off. What it does mean though is that we might need to get some people to do some speeches prior to June. And it's great having a lot of new members, but it's sometimes hard with the booking schedule to fit in all the speeches. One thought I had, and I'll bounce this off everyone, is whether we possibly have a meeting every so often in between the fortnights, I'll be focused more on speeches rather than having your grammarian and table topics and everything. Just have 2 or 3 speeches. Whoever would like to do that, they can come to that meeting. You might need 3 speakers, 3 evaluators, and a toastmaster, and have that. People would like to have more speech practice.
Will it be one day anyway, or one day?
So, depending on this room's available for hire. Just a thought I had, because we are trying to juggle other people who want to do speeches, and sometimes you can't do it for another 3 or 4 weeks. Would people have any interest in that, or are they? Okay. Great. Okay. If that's the.
Would that mean, say, sorry, Russell, would that mean, say, 3 more meetings before you end something, or 3 or 4 more meetings maybe?
Depends what the club wants to do. Not everyone has to attend, but if you just want to do some speeches, there might be 3 people who want to speak, 3 people might want to practice evaluations, and you might just have a small group. At least then you can achieve that. And it might be good for people new to evaluations to maybe do it in a small group as well. So you have these in-between meetings, you can practice other roles, be a toastmaster or something like that. Okay. I'll put together something for that, and that means we can easily achieve all our goals here. We get more experience out. I think it's been a while since I've probably done speech, which I'm happy not to do, but yeah, we get to stop doing them as well. Alright, I think I'm nearly towards the end. Next meeting is our 50th meeting, and coming close to our 2nd year anniversary. I mentioned how we'd have something slightly different to normal, and the plan was just to start at the pub, probably break halfway through, and if everyone could bring a plate, more like maybe last time we did something like this, the guys brought savouries, the girls brought dessert or something like that, or sweets. But I would never think about that. I'll let you know before next weekend and give you some notice. The plan was just to have speeches for the first half, and I thought I might throw in some activities like I did a couple of weeks ago, for those of you here, just to break it up a bit, and have some prizes given out. And I heard we still made some prizes as well, some free tickets to Burswood, which was good.
Russell, you mentioned that when we're packing up, as soon as you finish, particularly if we've got a lot of guests, and our members are going to go and visit the guests, chat with them tonight, if you can get your stuff, I don't like touching ladies' handbags with rat traps, God knows what in there. All this stuff over to a chair, let's run the tables, that's the biggest.
Speaking from experience,
So that's just a quick when you pack up, just put your stuff on the chair behind over here somewhere.
Yeah.
That will tell you it's the hardest part to the evening pack up. That'd be great.
That's a good point. And
Right.
Anthony,
can I have a word about the theatre?
just one thought, any other points anyone would like to raise about next week for the 50th or anything else? Everyone's happy with that plan? Just have a supper in between, have some speech games thrown in. It means it might be to shuffle some of the speeches that we've got scheduled at the moment. I'll speak to those people involved. All right, I'll hand you over to Alan.
Thanks,
Russ mentioned the TOI, that's the Toastmasters Leadership Institute. The new logo for Toastmasters with the new banner is Toastmasters, where leaders are made. And there's 2 streams with Toastmasters, there's communication and leadership. So there's a lot of opportunity for everybody in the room to take on leadership roles if they like. Now the training is very, very good, and it's all free, isn't it, Tim?
Yes.
Tim's one of our district officers, in case you didn't know. He's the secretary for the entire District 17. So he's at the upper echelon. I'm area governor, and my job is to help the clubs in my area, which is this one, Vic Park, Belmont, Cannington Communicators, and Western Founders. And we need 4 of the officers to attend as a minimum to, as Russell's pointed out, to the DCP, the Distinguished Club Program. It's very important for the club be healthy and do all these things. It's not just a weekly meeting, there are other things that go on. So the training is actually open to all Toastmasters. You don't have to be a club officer, but maybe next year you'd like to be one. Everyone's role is changed over on a yearly basis. So Russ's job will be up for grabs, the president, and everyone's role will change over on the 1st of July. So if you're interested in coming along on Thursday night, it's at Bull Creek Community Centre. It's at 5:30 to 9:30. There are workshops there, very interesting workshops. Tim and I attended a session on Saturday, What could you tell us about some of the workshops there, Tim?
Workshops just deal with more the leadership issues, so going to the website, looking at your own website, how to monitor that, how to change that. So they're the main topics.
Yeah. Because the Free Toast Toast is changing over to Free Toast Toast 2 shortly, so the VPE, the Vice President of Education, which is born, will have to change that over in due course. I guess you know about that. But there are other workshops, and obviously if you want to do a Sergeant at Arms role, there's somebody there to show you how to do the Sergeant at Arms role. They don't just throw you in, you're not thrown into the deep end with Toastmasters. Everything is organised and trained. So if you're going to be a president, the president goes along with the president's session, and the VP goes to the VP setting, and so on and so on. But there are other workshops there that you can attend, even if you're not a club officer. All right, hope to see you there. Wall Creek Community Centre, 5:30 to 9:30 on this Thursday. That'll be the 9th. Is that the 9th? It is, in fact, the 9th. Thanks very much for the opportunity to talk with you.